4 or 5 when I got my first keyboard, and they said that I played this tune just, by ear at a really young age. And this is to do with me being adopted.
Well, isn't this a delight? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucy Davis, and today I am joined by the absolutely beautiful Lizzie Atkins, and I am going to give her a very quick introduction and then ask her to introduce herself as well. She's shitting herself about doing this video, ladies and gents, so please, 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 in the comments, show her all of the love and support. So I actually got introduced to Lizzie. Was it through Charlie or was it through David initially?
Was through, well, actually through David, but I met you at Glastonbury with Huna Flash.
That's right. Okay. So the first time we met was in June 2022, so just last year, and we went on a magical journey together, didn't we? Like I think you might have known of me before or whatever, and you were like, oh, really nice to meet and everything. And then we went on this magical dragon ride, a thing that Huna runs. And then from there, no, sorry, I met you at the Glastonbury event, and then we did the dragon ride, didn't we? Is that right?
Dragon Ride was actually the night before. Oh yeah, no, the Dragon Ride, you're right. It was in Ireland, so that was the second time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we met in Glastonbury. Glastonbury was a very, very powerful event. I know that it invoked a lot of emotion within you. And again, the Dragon Ride invoked a lot of emotion within you again. But we didn't really become friends per se. Like, we would chat, and I know you were working with David and blah, 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 blah. But I didn't really know too much about you at that point. But then over the last like 6-8 months, we've become super close. And I'm really glad to be able to call you a friend. But the reason I wanted to bring you on my YouTube channel, is to basically share with the world what a fucking gift you are. So ladies and gents, Lizzie is musically amazing. Like, she is so talented with music. She can hear a piece of music and transform it into an absolute, just an absolute amazing piece. And she'll hear something that I'll say, and then the next thing I know, a couple of days later, she'll be like, hey, I created this, I don't know if you like it. And this girl is just so talented with music, that it's time for us to raise the consciousness on how frequencies are healing us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So Lizzie, my babe, I've not done you any justice whatsoever. Please do share a little bit of insight into you and who you are, and I guess where you come from.
Well, I'm 44 years old. You would never know.
Same. Us two, like, young looking twins.
I think we are twins, to be fair. In fact, my life journey is very similar to yours. It's a bit freaky. In the old first part of your book, however, not the second part.
Part one of From Head to Heart, when we were living in our heads.
Yeah. So I live in South Wales. I'm a single mum. I work for the NHS, which is interesting at the minute. And I play the piano. I'm not sure if many people have heard my tunes. However, it's only a recent thing that I've been able to have the courage to put anything out there. I like crafting as well. Yeah.
This girl is amazingly creative. Like, I can't even say to you. Lizzie has sent me some gifts over the time for birthday, things like that. And oh my gosh, this girl can create absolute magic. And I'm not just talking about the music. Like, Lizzie doesn't play the piano. Lizzie, like, breathes the piano, like, creates the piano. It's not like people play the piano, but Lizzie doesn't do that. Lizzie, like, has this relationship with the piano that so many people watching her and listening to her music will just get. When I first heard her, because it was actually David that played me one of your songs initially, and I was like, oh my God, this girl is so talented. Like, we need this girl to be doing stuff for Soul School, and we need this girl to be doing, but of course I didn't know you too well back then. It was then over the months that I got to know you. So Lizzie, let's talk a little bit more about how you stepped into music. Was it from a child? Like, at what age did you realize that music was your soul food?
Well, my parents, when I was about 3, apparently we were at a friend's house because we had quite a busy social life while my parents did. So we were always partying, around other families. And they heard me playing someone else's piano. And they said that I played this tune just, by ear at a really young age. So I think I was about 4 or 5 when I got my first keyboard. I have got pictures of that somewhere, but I think they're at my parents' house. And it just kind of stemmed from there. But, when I was growing up as a child, it was all very piano practice and socks to the knees, and you must go to lessons. And it was all very structured. And I'm ever so grateful for all that. However, it never struck a chord with me. So when I was old enough to be left alone, my parents would go out and then the real me would come out, and I'd be playing Michael Jackson, then I'd be learning the dance moves, and then they'd come home and I'd be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, doing my scales, it was all very much like that. And then I went through a period of my life without any piano at all, a very long time. And it's only been the last 5 years that I've had a piano. So I
Wow.
saved up for a long time to buy this really nice piano. It's actually an electric piano, but it's got weighted keys, so it's just
Beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah. And
So
so just on that note, for a long time you basically hid the authentic Lizzie.
yeah,
That's fair to say, isn't it? You suppressed her because you wanted to make your parents proud. And there's nothing
yeah,
wrong with doing that, but I actually think that that is a really beautiful part of this tale, is
yeah,
that we've got this beautiful blossoming flower, really recognizing that music is, the thing that fires up her soul. It's the language of your soul. And then you feel as if you need to suppress that to make sure that your parents are still proud of you and that you're doing the right thing. And that must have been a real challenge for you, Lizzie, because as a musician, as a creative, we want to
mm,
be expressive, we want to share it. Like, can you share a little bit about that
yeah.
so that anybody else listening that suppressed their beautiful gifts might get a little bit of
Yeah.
guidance from that?
Yeah. Well, a lot of this is to do with me being adopted. Now, not just with music, with everything in my life, I felt like I've put on a show. So I have to be a certain way to please my parents because I love them dearly, but they're nothing like me at all. So I never felt like I fitted in. I was loved, don't get me wrong. I was loved and cared for and, went through everything else like a normal child. But I always felt like if I was truly me, I wouldn't survive there. I'd either be got rid of, or I'd be told I wasn't good enough. That was my fear. And I
Oh,
think, I've always, even to this day, I still find myself behaving differently in front of them. And I think this is where the confidence is so weak in me at the minute. It's in there. However, most of my life has been spent being someone else. And I
right.
think it's just abandonment issues, isn't
Of
it? I mean,
course,
it's,
of course, of course. And I know that you're doing a lot of deep work on that. Like, you've been at Self School, you're going to go through the Self Love Club membership program this coming year. So I know that you're doing the work on yourself for this, which is really admirable, babe, because I think you'll resonate with a lot of people out there who have been, or are adopted. Like, there is a huge amount of trauma that comes from that. Now, I remember when you and I spoke about this previously, like, I like to throw in a total different perspective. And I'm like, how kind of these people, like, how kind were these people to take you in and to love you as if you were their own daughter? Now, it's easy for me to sit there and say that because I haven't had to go through that trauma. I just like to frig the person's trauma that's taking place and just throw in different perspectives so that they can almost step out of their trauma for a moment and feel something different. But
yes,
it must have been very challenging for you, Lizzie, not really knowing who you were and where
yeah,
this beautiful gift for music came from, right? Because it was obviously innate in you. It was obviously like handed down to you, like built into you from your parents, your real parents or something, right?
yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because I've not actually met my birth mum. I did find her through the wonders of social media.
Amazing.
And it wasn't a Davina McCall moment, let me tell you. It wasn't a gush of, oh, it was more of a letdown, to be fair.
Oh,
So you know, I would never discourage anyone to go and try and find their roots because it wouldn't change me as a person and it didn't change it. And it may change other people's lives, but it certainly isn't something that you should rely on,
Mhm.
you know. But finding out your roots doesn't always go the right way. So it's just something to bear in mind. However, it is interesting
Right.
because my kids are both, well, my daughter used to play the guitar, but Charlie, the boy, he's special. He he's quite shy, but he'll go and sit down and he can play songs by ear as well.
Wow,
So,
what a gift.
but yeah, so it's difficult with him because I don't want to push him. I want him to, if he wants to enjoy it, he can.
Yeah, yeah.
However, I felt quite pressured as a child, so I don't want to put
Right.
that on him.
Okay. So
Um,
what happened then, Lizzie? Correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like your adopted parents realized that you had a gift and then were like, right, we need to just make her do this. We need to encourage her to do more and more of this. And actually, by the sounds of it, when you took that break, you probably lost the love of it because you
yeah,
had been forced to do it. You'd been forced to, in fact, be something that you didn't want to be. So, of course, what happens when we get forced to do things we don't like?
yeah,
We rebel.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So,
Oh,
talk.
don't we?
Oh, yeah, don't we?
Hmm.
Especially us little feisty pants ones.
No.
You know what we're like, girl. We got a little bit
Well,
of a kick, haven't we? A little bit of sting in the tail, you know. So talk to me. You said about 5 years ago you got back into playing the piano. You've obviously bought yourself the piano. Like, what happened, Lizzie? What made you get back into it?
my partner at the time, he was playing a song on his guitar. He was learning the guitar, and he was a little bit focused around himself. I don't want to use any words that I might
That's
regret.
polite.
Yes. So I thought a stubbornness in me was like, oh, I could do that. And I think it was that moment I wanted to prove that I wasn't just this person that could be pushed around and, you know, everyone else is better than. And I thought, no, I'm gonna find my passions. So that's what I did. You know, and I wasn't playing it an awful lot when I first got it because Charlie was still quite young. So I was limited with bedtimes and stuff. And in fact, I didn't play in front of anyone at all. I mean, most of my life, apart from exams when I was a kid, which were awful as well. The first time I actually posted something publicly was just before I left for Glastonbury. And what
Wow.
I did a couple of film themed music because I was sending music to Mahoney for the, you know, the waiting room in the
Yeah, yeah,
webinars.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I was creating music jams from my DJ app. So when I was going to Glastonbury, I literally recorded myself, pressed send. This was before I knew about even thinking about putting it on YouTube because that's so much easier. But I pressed send and just left the house and drove. So I'm driving and I'm looking, thinking, oh my God, it's taking ages to post. And then when it posted, I thought, oh, well, it's too late now. There were mistakes in it, but it was authentic. And people were like, oh, I really, really appreciated your music. Oh, and it just kind of built from there then. So that was the first encouraging moment I had to knowing that that was touching people. That's what I like.
Yeah, and rightly so. You know, there's a reason I get up and speak. It's because I know that it gets into the cells of people, and your music is so powerful, Lizzie, that it gets into the cells of people. And your piano is actually tuned to.
Well, it's tuned to 432, but it's electric, so I can have it to whatever frequency I like. But
Beautiful.
440 is the normal. I say normal. Most pianos are tuned to 440, which we know isn't quite as resonant with us. You know, 432 is meant to be a healing frequency, so I like to play in that just for because
Perfect.
I'm playing such a lot at the minute. It's nice for me to have that calm.
Yeah, and
So.
also I feel that this is a massive part of what's actually taking place on the planet at the moment, right?
Mm.
Is we are looking for people or looking to people to create the music for the soul. You know, we really are looking for the soul to be activated. Now, I know that you've come to Soul School I think you came to both, didn't you? Did you come to Bournemouth? Yeah, of course you did. Sorry about that. Lizzie came to both of the soul schools, Bournemouth and Manchester, and you've seen firsthand what happens with the music. Now, I'm not saying that the music songs that I pick are at the right frequency, but the reason I pick them is for the words to activate the cellular level DNA within the human. So it's very important that we recognize here that there are two elements to this. And what I love about what Lizzie is doing, and Lizzie is going to do the music for Soul School at some point, like she is going to be doing the music for Soul School, so that it's both of them, the words and the frequency can be married up, and they can actually go along and align with each other, because the words are very powerful, and I'm very lucky that I've been given the gift of speech this lifetime to be a communicator to help the souls get activated. But I can't do that on my own. There are people that need the music element of it, which is why we need to create that beautiful ripple so that the soul remembers, and the healing vibrations and the frequency within the vessel actually get activated and go on the journey.
I do believe as well, you know, I think people get too hung up on this frequency thing as well, because, you know, I do tend to play in 432, and especially if I'm going to share it, because I just feel like, you know, we're all trying to resonate with each other, and we're all working on ourselves. You know, well, a lot of the people that you know, that I associate with are working on themselves. So, but it's not something that is vital. I don't believe so. Like the music at Soul School, I can't even tell. I mean, most of you who are watching this probably know, but I can't listen to it without heartbreaking myself. It literally is. I mean, that song by am I allowed to say the names of the songs on
Yeah,
here?
of course.
Copyright. Okay. So that Diane, The Voice of an Angel, or
Yeah.
oh,
It's like I pick songs to transform, like to send people to a whole new level, you know. That's
now,
why I pick these songs.
and I will tell you now that that is not tuned to 440. It does not matter at all. It's not about the frequency so much. It's how it connects with you. So say you loved classical music. You could be driving along and you'd be in your element, whereas I might be sat next to you going, Lucy, this is shit. Turn it off. You know, we're all different in that respect. So the frequency, even though it's important if you're working with it, I think a lot. It's not, it doesn't matter. Just let it go. Just let it
Yeah.
go. If it resonates with your heart and your soul, you know, then that's all that matters. Are you
Sorry,
getting an itchy nose?
my guides just want to tell.
Like,
My
they're like,
guides want to chirp in. They want
you're
to
not
chirp in.
talking to her again, are you? That one from Wales. Christ.
What they're basically saying is what Lizzie's saying is bang on. You know, we don't need to get caught up in the frequencies. There are too many of us that are like, it has to be this or it has to be that. It
Yeah.
doesn't need to be that. Like, we need to surrender this need to be as spiritual as possible right now. What we need to do is just lean into the truth and what feels good for you, and recognize it. For me personally, I hear heavy metal music and it repels me. It makes me want to throw up. So I'm
No.
like, please, can we turn this off? However,
Mm,
for other people, and I know David loves rock music and stuff like that, but
mm,
for me, I'm like, it's gross,
no.
you know?
Trying to the heavy metal, I mean, no offense to anyone who likes it, you know, that's fine. But I think it is designed to cause that kind of
Yeah.
frequency in you. I mean, any music. When you're at a funeral, for example, you're not going to put on dance and trance music, are you? You know, it's the situation you're in
Although
as well. So
mine, if I have one, then I'm going to have dance music because I want everyone to be happy, you know, like let's
yeah,
celebrate. But not
of
everybody's the same.
course. But
But
you're not going to put a love song on at the gym to motivate you to run 20K on a treadmill, are you? So, you know,
definitely
it's
not.
about what resonates with you. I mean, if you wanted to listen to a love song, I wish you luck, you know, on the treadmill. However, I think it's the situation you're in, isn't it? And how you feel about it. But it's here in your heart. That's where it is. And oh, you could just feel it, and the activation and the love you can feel just from sounds, and you know, I just love music so much. I just love it.
It's
Love it.
beautiful. And the fact of the matter is that we can heal our physical vessels by music. You know, I say to people, like whenever people say to me, "Oh my God, I'm so depressed," or "I've got this going on," I'm like, find a tune that you love, crank it up full whack, and go and shake your butt. Like, I'm not
Yes.
saying go find solfeggio frequencies at that frequency that's going to resonate with this and that's going to do that. And don't get me wrong, as background music, that's amazing. If you're listening to something, yeah, it's great. It'll get into your cellular level DNA and you can, beautiful, beautiful stuff. But if you feel down in the dumps, the best thing to do is find a song that makes you feel high vibration and go and shake your tush. Because you, as soon as you allow your physical vessel to, like, your physiology to change whilst listening to something upbeat that you're enjoying, that you really like, maybe you like the words to or whatever, that physical shift within yourself is going to create the same reaction as listening to a solfeggio frequency. It's going to create a healing frequency whereby you're going to step up and out of your depression or out of your anxiety or whatever.
Yeah, in fact, I think studies have been done with this from memory, because I was doing A-level drama a long time ago, drama and music, and when you're listening to music that resonates with you, you do get the same signals in your brain as the rewards response.
Yeah.
So, and of course, jumping up and dancing is good for you anyway. Let's be honest. As soon as you start moving around and you're exercising, before you know it, you're out of breath and you've just done a little mini workout while you're in the kitchen with your spoon or your hairbrush in the mirror. We've all done it, and it brings up your vibration. Singing at the traffic lights in your car, full belt. It's fun, and it does make you feel better.
Exactly.
And what more could we ask for that joy in our hearts and our what a better way to start the day.
Exactly. And actually, what's really funny is, well, it's probably not funny, but I find it funny, is if you ever have to do a speed awareness course, they actually ask you, was your music too loud? Because people drive faster with, because we're driven by music. This is the thing. Everything in life, I might have done one once. I won't say any more than that.
Don't worry.
I won't say any more than that, because I'll probably get myself in a lot of trouble. But I'm just going to leave it where that is. But everything in our life is a frequency. I am a frequency. I have a frequency running through me. This bottle is a frequency, believe it or not. This mobile phone is a frequency. This pen is a frequency. This book is a frequency. What an amazing book is that? Isn't it gorgeous? Beautiful. Everybody's like, I want that book. It's the Phoenix. Because she too will rise through the ashes, But everything is a frequency. Oh, we're going to have a journal war now, are we?
So my book's horrendous. Look at this. Well, it's not that bad.
It's great. Listen, you've got a journal. All we need is a journal. So everything has its own frequency, and this is what's very important. Let's not get caught up, hung up on the semantics. Like, I will always encourage people, as you guys know, when I do the exercises for my full moon, new moon, whatever, I encourage you to listen to solfeggio frequencies or Milan or somebody like that, and all of these people you can find on YouTube, by the way. So just putting it out there, copyright if you're paying attention. All of it is kudos to the people that do it. But we need to just recognize what makes us feel good. And like I say, if rock and roll or heavy metal makes you feel good, fill your boots with it. For me, I like upbeat music. I like not trance music, but I like dance music. I like songs that have amazing lyrics to it, so that I'm like, yeah, I got this going on, because it is as simple as that. You can listen to a song that is really sad and you can go from being in a great mood to almost whimpering and crying, right? So it's important that we recognize this, that everything is a frequency, everything is communicating with us, and we should really let music be the language of our soul, right? Like, I can't say this enough. It's the perfect title for this video is, I'm about activating the soul. We need the music to bring that language up so that our soul gets activated.
Just while you're on that point, you've just something's just popped into my head. It's a bit like with Rick and his stories, yeah. Now, the interesting thing with our music is even if it's the same song, if you close your eyes, we've all got a different story to that music, So you make it what you wish, So that's why when you're I think it's different when you're meditating and you're trying to connect to source or connect to another level. I don't think having lyrics is that particularly helpful when you're trying. So solfeggio frequencies are perfect, or anything like that. Barry Goldstein, who does the music for Joe Dispenza, he's got it spot on. He's perfect, you know, and tiny little activation noises in your left and right ear resonate with your pineal glands. I just think it's fascinating. So, you know, and also when we're in our mum's wombs, remember the first rhythm we hear is the heartbeat.
Exactly.
That's a rhythm. That's music. That's your heart. That's your soul. That's the language. And
Exactly. And that's why we get so activated sometimes and we get those goosebump feelings, because it's like, wow,
yeah,
this reminds me of when I was in the womb. Wow, this takes me back to a story. David actually tells a really beautiful story about his son. When he was in the womb, like they would play a lot of jazz music. And when they were then on a long flight, to keep him calm, they just put jazz music in, and he was chilled as a bean for like 8 or 10 hours or whatever, you know. And this is the
yeah,
power of music. It's the
yeah.
power of what is created. Now, I'm sure if he now heard that music, he would step into that, oh my God, this takes me back to my mum, and this takes, you know, which is a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. My son used to listen to every night religiously from birth. He used to listen to the one song over and over, and it was the Birdie song. If the wings could fly. Do you know
Oh,
Birdie? You know that
yeah,
song
yeah,
with the
yeah.
wings? Yeah, yeah. And and then it stopped, and now he has stories on. He'll kill me if he hears this. He's 10 at the minute, so he's like, I'm so embarrassing. But he used to listen to that, and it came on the radio a couple of months ago, and he was like, you could see that he recognized it, but he couldn't quite work out why. Um, but it was the quietest I've seen him for a long time. It was
Oh,
just
that's
listen.
beautiful.
I know.
That's so beautiful. And just look at that, you know, what music does your child need to appease it, to keep it calm, to give it love? You
Yeah,
know, like when I have a child, I'm
yeah,
just excited for it because it's going to have music constantly. Like I have music going constantly. Like I love it. And it sometimes it's, you know, my kind of music, sometimes it's meditation. Like it just depends where I'm at and how I'm feeling.
I'm
But I
I'm
love music.
excited for your child as well because you are well, you're already a mum in my eyes. You're a mum to all of us and all our children, but that child is the luckiest child ever. So
Oh,
I really mean that. But
oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you.
oh, you know I love you. But with the music as well, don't forget we make memories. So we have memories of certain tunes. So I can remember a song, or a song could make me remember something or remind me of someone, you know. So there's a lot of storytelling and memory storage, I'd say,
Yeah.
that goes along with it as well. So you know, just enjoy your life. Just put some music on. If you don't want to clean the house, just put some tunes on. You'll be cleaning the house, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I totally agree with you. And what a beautiful way to get up your step count or get up a bit of a sweat. Like, I don't know about you, but whenever I clean here, like I get a bit of a sweat on. And it's not because I'm in Spain, it's because I've got the music going and I'm like, you know what, I'm on a bit of a mission right now. And also, I don't get any help. So, of course, I have to get a bit of a sweat on because I need to get it
he's,
done.
he's too busy cooking the dinner for you, darling. That's what it is. All right, you can't have it all, right?
Oh, I know, darling. I
God
know.
bless him.
I know. There's
Yeah,
yeah, it's you know, just art for me personally, music is given to us for a reason. Like the trees make music, the birds
yeah.
make music. I
The
mean, whenever I'm
birds.
doing my videos and I'm outdoors, everyone's like, oh my God, the birds, they're making music. It was the parrots the other day when I was outside at the beach doing, you know, the parrots were squawking. And
So that's
this is what is so beautiful about it. The wildlife. Oh, my mum is crazy. My mum thinks there's so much wildlife here in Spain. Like, honestly, bless her heart. I love her so much. But, you know, the wildlife creates the rhythm, you know, like the
Mhm.
trees create the rhythm. Mother Nature creates the rhythm. Think about the ocean, the roar of the ocean. Like, that is
Yeah,
a frequency, that is a beat,
yeah,
you know. And it's just when you actually break it down and you actually get in alignment with it, like, you can
yeah,
thrive.
yeah. In fact, talking about Mama G and nature, obviously they've got their own tunes going on, and we're just trying to keep up, really, aren't we? We're just trying to fit in. You know, like when you study music on a cinematic level, you know, if you had to describe in music what birds sound like, it would be sort of the flutes, high little pitched noises, you know. So they've already imprinted. what music is. We just are trying to mimic it.
Copy
Do you
it.
see?
Yeah, you're absolutely bang on.
Yeah.
Exactly like technology, right? So all computers are premised off of the human brain,
Yeah.
because like, and this is why technology will never be as good as the human brain, which is why the human brain gets dulled down by the technology,
Yeah.
because we're on it so much these days. And music, you're bang on, Lizzie, and I love some of the references that you've made, like this video. It's the information that you've given in this video is amazing. And I just want to say, ladies and gents, when I said to Lizzie, let's do a video, she was like, let me swat up a bit. I was like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I want you
I wasn't
coming
sure what
and
you were
being
gonna ask.
authentic. And I just want the world to get to know you, who you are, because
Mm.
Lizzie produces great music. If you like music, go and follow Lizzie. I'm going to put all of her details in the description field of this video. Go and check it out. Like, give her some support. She's not asking you for anything other than literally your support. Tell her how the song makes you feel. Tell her if you feel that there should be improvements or things like that, or different things she could do. Like, Lizzie is such a beautiful sponge, and I mean that in such a beautiful way, that she just wants to create magic for everybody else. And this is why I spoke to you a month or a couple of months ago about creating all the music for Self School going forwards, right?
You know what? That moment was literally probably one of the most rememberable moments of my life, where because I've only been on this journey for about 3 years, maybe a bit longer. When I was learning about manifestation, right, it's all very well that you get taught these things or told these things, but when it actually happens to you, I always said, this is what I'm manifesting. I will be doing music and it will be recognized. And then after my phone call with you, I was literally punching the kids were in bed, but I was like, so happy. I can't describe how happy I was at that. And my life just hasn't been the same since. I've literally gone, whoo, loving
and
it. So I'm
and
so
rightly
grateful.
so. Oh, rightly so though, babe. Like, it I like to help people. I often there's a couple of people in my life that have really helped me, and I want to be that person for some people too. Like Ricky, who I met in Thailand 10 years ago. If he hadn't, or his soul hadn't been like, I need to help this person, and he didn't do anything to physically help me, he
Babe.
just was like, this is the journey that I'm on, and he let
Yeah,
me witness it. So he reminded my soul of what I needed to be doing. And this is
cool.
the energy exchange that we need to do. Now, I know what I'm here to do. I know what I'm here to create. I'm here to create Soul School. I'm here to create Self Love Club. Why wouldn't I find a beautiful soul that can create the graphics for me, create the music for me, create the way that the stage looks? Because although I'm very creative where that stuff is involved, as you guys have seen at the latest Soul School, like, I would love to give somebody the opportunity to do that for us
Yeah.
and create that magic, create that mysticism, because I'm here to communicate. I'm here to deliver the messages to the soul, and I own that. I don't want to be all things to all people. And thankfully, I'm
No.
not all things to all people. I piss quite a lot of them
Oh,
off.
those are your best moments.
Yes. Oh, aren't they? Aren't
No,
they?
but you are at Soul School. We need you to be you because you are just like every time I see you, you just get more powerful. And like, I'm a little bit obsessed with you after Soul School. I have to admit. I think Morwenna needs to move aside now because it's time for stalk. And
Stalker number two
however,
is coming on in.
so you're right,
Okay.
you be you because we need you to be you. And, Rick is incredible at what he does, and I
Exactly.
admire him. I was kind of watching him through Soul School as well. I mean, what an incredible soul. I
Yeah.
mean, all of
I'm
your team are
I'm I'm
incredible.
really lucky I have the best
Oh,
team on the planet. And it's
such beautiful
interesting
people.
what you've just said about every time you watch me, I get more powerful. My team are saying exactly the same. Now,
Yeah,
some of my team have been around me like most of my life. So for
yeah,
them to be saying that is just
yeah.
absolutely next level. But the whole point of what we wanted to do here, or what I wanted to do here today, is bring up the consciousness, introduce you to the world, I'm really impressed with you, because you haven't come across as if you're not confident, Lizzie. You know, so you're going to have convinced everybody else. So now it's time to convince yourself, right? Because you've done a really, really, really good job with this. I'm excited for you to share some music. And what I would really like you to do, obviously, I know you've sent me your links for whatever, so I'll add this into this video. And then, you know, maybe what we'll do is somehow we'll figure it out. I don't know how we'll do it, because the copyright stuff on YouTube is absolute bollocks. Yes, YouTube, I'm talking about.
Yeah, but they can't say that we're copywriting my own music.
No, this is what I mean. So let's do some of your own music next time. We'll get it set up so that we can actually get some of your music, because I would love to share that with the world, Lizzie. And, you know, all you need to do is tag me and stuff, and I can add it to my playlist so that people can find you, if, you know, if they haven't already done. But Lizzie, it's been my absolute pleasure to have you on here today. Thank you so much for finding the time to chat with me. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for coming into my life. Thank you for sticking to me like glue, because we've had some right old laughs since we met last June, and long may that continue, my babe. Everybody, please give your beautiful comments back to Lizzie, so that she can obviously hear from you. And no doubt if she checks in on the comments, she will respond to you. But I look forward to bringing you back on here really soon, Lizzie. All right?
Thank you so much. Love you.
Thanks for being here, babe.
Bye.